It's time for the Las Vegas Sportsline, brought to you by CG Technology Sportsbook.
Money won is twice as sweet as money earned.
Presented by WagerTalk.com.
And that's the signal for us to get things rolling in this Thursday edition of the Las Vegas Sportsline. It is brought to you by CG Sportsbooks. First up in the world with NFL over and under win props for 2019. They are up at CG now. We're going to have Tony DiTomasso. Tony D, Director of Risk at CG, will be joining us in just a little bit. We'll go behind the counter with him on not only those over and under win props, but NCAA Final Four, throw in the NIT, Major League Baseball, NBA, NHL. Oh, yeah. If you want to know where the money's going, where the sharp money is, what the ticket counts are, the real action, we got that info for you every Thursday with CG. And Tony D on with us in just a little bit. Ralph Michaels from Wager Talk is here. All right, Platinum behind the console, making sure we stay on the air. And I'm Dave Cokin. I'm excited to hear, and I have not looked at these yet. To be perfectly honest, I have not yet looked at these numbers, so I'm going to be real curious about where some of them landed. Have you looked at them already, Ralph?
I have. I did a couple shows yesterday talking about them, and, the NFL's getting their parity because, I'll give a little bit of away. The Patriots opened at 11. They actually got bet down to 10.5, so everyone in the league is between 5 and 10.5.
Oh, okay. That should be some great betting action, because when you've got numbers like that where there's no real extremes, it generally signals that there's going to be a lot of action. I know what team we're going to have to talk about with Tony right at the top, because they are the hot off-season team, and I'm not saying this to be nice to you because you're a Clevelander, but the Browns are going to be an overbet this year, and I'm curious to see what they did with the numbers. So don't tell me yet, because I want to find out from Tony. Let's check out some quick Major League Baseball. Oh, wait a minute. What else did I want to cover at the top here? Hold on. I forgot to print out my rundown today, which, makes me an idiot. Oh, yeah. Jacob DeGrom. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, you could say it was Miami or the Marlins, but to have 24 Ks in 13 innings, I mean, just remarkable. And I think a lot of it has to do, with his win-loss record last year with his ERA was phenomenal. Not phenomenal, but they had a run in
he should have won 20 games.
Yes. But they had a run in the first inning against Washington, and then they had the first three innings against Miami. So he's pitching with a lead, and it shows what he could do when he has that lead and he's comfortable.
And he also hits his first career homer last night. He also ties Bob Gibson, pretty good company, for the all-time record in consecutive quality starts. I think he's now up to, 29 straight starts with 3 runs or less? It's just amazing what this guy is doing.
Oral Hershiser-type numbers.
Yeah, I mean, it's just he's the best pitcher in the game right now. And if you watch him pitch, I mean, he just puts the ball wherever he wants it. Yeah. Basically on every pitch. His command is absolutely extraordinary. It's really fun to watch. I want to also talk about the Twins for a moment, because, I've been extolling the virtues of this team since before the season started, and they're doing one of the things I like seeing teams do, which is they're winning close games. And you could say, well, it was only the Royals. That doesn't matter. They're still pulling out close games. And when a team gets in the habit of winning close games, they might turn out to be better than expected. Seeing another one this morning. I know that it's the Tigers, but I think they've got 5 one-run wins already. I mean, you start stealing games like that, you're going to end up over your total as far as the wins go, and you might end up in contention. Now, I'm not suggesting Detroit's going to stay in contention because they just don't have much offense. But Minnesota, I think they're here for the duration.
The most remarkable thing about the Twins for me, off to their 4-1 start, they've scored 24 runs, allowed 15, is they've had 1 home run this year as a team. Put it in perspective, the LA Dodgers have 18 home runs, and the Minnesota Twins have 1, and yet the Minnesota Twins are 4-1.
On the diamond today, in progress, the Yankees have just put together a big inning. In the top of the 6th, they have gone from a 4-1 deficit to a 5-4 lead in the top of the 6th at Baltimore. The Red Sox and A's, the Red Sox did lead 3-0, but not anymore, as Oakland has come back and now leads that game 4-3 and threatening for more in the bottom of the 4th. Final scores that are in Nationals behind a very strong performance from Steven Strasburg. 4-0. I got the hiccups. 4-0 win over the Nationals. Royals and Twins. That's a 5-4. Tigers win, and everything else is tonight. We'll talk about those games in a little bit. But right now, it is time to check out the Thursday. What? No, I don't need. I'm all right.
Okay.
No, no, it's
just a hiccup.
I just told the hiccups to go away, and they did. I took myself out of hiccups. Okay. Let's go to the MJ Christensen 4-4.
1, 2, 3 into the 4.
Put them fours up. Put the fours up, I said. Do it right now.
Tonight's action is just around the bend, and the guys want to get your night off to a great start.
4.
It's the Las Vegas Sports Line's 4 at 4.
Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4. Unbelievable.
80th anniversary for MJ Christensen. 80 years right here in Las Vegas. Makes him one of the oldest businesses in the entire city. And they are celebrating their 80th anniversary all month long at Boca Park. They're one spectacular, beautiful location. It is a great jewelry store. Terrific company to do business with. We hope you will. Let's start off with Lipscomb-Texas playing for the NIT Championship tonight. The Longhorns, who had a disappointing season, and there was some thought that Shaka Smart might actually need a run in the NIT to keep the Vultures away. Well, he's gotten one. They're in the NIT title game, and the chatter about Smart possibly being on the hot seat, it might resume next year, but it's quieted for now. Meanwhile, Lipscomb, Ralph, this was a team on a mission. When they, in their minds, and again, it doesn't matter what any of us think, in their minds, they felt they got snubbed as far as the NCAA tournament's concerned. They have been out to make a statement in this tournament, and they have done so.
Yeah, you look at Lipscomb and up-tempo team and know how to play well. I mean, did they have any good wins in the year? Their best win was against TCU, so I don't think they deserve to be there, not here nor there. But if you ask anyone on that team now, would you prefer to have gone to the tournament and lost after round 1 or 2, or go to New York and perhaps cut the nets down? I don't think there's a question. They would rather be in this category now.
I disagree.
You do?
Yes. I think they were an angry team going in because no matter what, this is still the other tournament. And it's a consolation prize. I'm sure they'd love to win the title, but I think they wanted to be in the NCAA, especially when they saw what Liberty did.
Yeah.
Liberty won. Okay? So Lipscomb, I'm sure the Lipscomb players are saying, hey, we could have been in the Sweet 16. We would have been in at least the that's bigger. You win an NCAA tournament game, it's just bigger than the NIT.
In this game now, though, I think the difference is the Longhorns, Kevin Roach. He missed the last 5 games. He was suspended the regular season. He's come back. He scored 22 against TCU, 21 against Xavier. And the defense, that smart defense now with everyone back. In Texas's loss this year, they allowed 43% three-point shots. In the NIT, they're allowing 27.2 from three-point land. I like the under, and I lean with Texas.
The other game is for the, is it the CIT or the CBI?
CIT.
CIT, okay. And it's Green Bay and Marshall. And this is just going to be up and down the floor. And whoever shoots the ball better is going to get the win.
Yeah, both teams, they're very quick in tempo. Marshall has slowed it down a little bit. I mean, they've gotten into the 80s, but they're not running that same pace. I like the under in this. Green Bay's played their last 3 games at home. They're now going on the road, and now you're playing for something, be it whatever it is in this tournament. I think that slows the pace a little bit, especially in the second half.
Cubs and Braves matching up one more time in Atlanta tonight. They'll be wrapping up that series. The Braves winning the first 2 games of the series, and the Cubs' bullpen woes continue in spectacular fashion. Last night, they're in position to win the baseball game. Braves had let a couple of opportunities slip by, including a first and third one, none out in the top of the first where they got nothing, and those usually come back to haunt you. But then Steve Cishek came in, walks the first 3 batters in the 8th inning, and you knew something good was going to happen if you were a Braves fan at that point. It did, as Camargo sent one to the wall, cleared the bases, and that was, in effect, the baseball game. The Cubs are a bit of a mess right now, and speaking of a mess, Yu Darvish on the mound tonight. He'll go against Fried, who is not a guy I get real excited about backing, but I don't know how you can get enthused about playing Yu Darvish here.
Yeah, well, the Cubs, imagine having 1 win when you're batting .330 as a team. I mean, they are crushing the ball, and they are just getting outscored. It's ugly.
My early prediction on this team, and I do have an under ticket on this team, was that this is a throwback to the old Harry Carey days where they're going to be in a lot of 9-8 games because they're going to hit. They can really hit, but their pitching is not good.
You know, Darvish now, since getting traded to the Cubs, he's made 9 starts. He's got a 5.27 ERA. You know, here's one angle for you, Dave. This was going to be the Joe's angle the day I left it off. But when you have two teams both sub 500 and one team's a home favorite going for a 3-game sweep, since 2004, those teams are 266 and 127, 68%.
Pretty good.
So the team does get the sweep when both teams, again, have a losing record going into the series and you have a home favorite.
And the Blue Jays and Indians tonight in Toronto gets another strong performance from Shoemaker last night. He's had 2 great starts for Toronto. The guy can pitch if he stays healthy. Indians not going well right now. Corey Kluber got roughed up last night. Probably their best guy on the mound tonight, Trevor Bauer. We'll see if he can pitch the Indians into the winner's circle.
Under. Indians batting 160 as a team. No Linder, no Kipnis, not getting any office done. And Jose Ramirez, one of the best hitters in baseball, matched up against Sanchez, 2 for 18 lifetime with 8 Ks.
That's not real good.
No.
So Ralph likes the under in that game. Tony DiTomasso is the director of risk at CG Sportsbooks. And we've got Tony stepping in where Jason Simbal has been for the last couple of years, and then Matthew Holt before him. Tony he's the guy who handles the numbers at CG, so it's great to have him on. What's up, Tony? How are you?
Good, Dave. What's going on, bud?
I am excited because you guys are first out of the gate with this. Nobody else beat you to the post in this one. NFL over and under win totals are up and available for action right now. And as Ralph mentioned, because he's already seen the numbers, I haven't, it's a really tightly packed field. There's no 11s out there, and nobody less than, 5 or 5.5? So this is a beautiful betting field in terms of generating volume.
I tell you what, we opened them. We all talked about the numbers. We put a little bit of time into it, as you guys know. And, the betting action has been fantastic, actually. We opened them up Sunday morning at 9 o'clock. The sharp guys took their shots at us, and, it pretty much they stabilized halfway through Sunday towards like 5 o'clock. And, since then we've been doing occasional sharp business, but a lot of fan business, which is fantastic from our standpoint.
Tony, just from a marketing standpoint, do you put those NFL numbers to keep that March Madness money into your books instead of them taking it home?
Well, you know what? We threw them up a little bit earlier this year for exactly that reason and to try to capture some of the business from some of the people that were in town for, the 16 and the 8. In hindsight, I actually spoke with Bert Osborne, as you guys can remember from the South Point.
Sure.
And, Bert had a great suggestion. He said, man, next year you might want to think about throwing them up for opening weekend, which is a fantastic idea.
I think it is as well. So let's talk about a few of the teams. And this is sight unseen for me. Ralph has the numbers. I wanted to keep this, build the suspense for myself. And we'll start with Ralph's favorite team. And I think a lot of people's favorite team in terms of rising and becoming serious contenders in 2019. And that's the Cleveland Browns. Knowing that public sentiment is what it is going in, did you have to increase the number to compensate for that?
We actually, when we thought about it, we were talking between 8.5 and 9 under. But we settled on 9 over for exactly that reason. We figured, year in and year out, they tend to bet the Browns to win the Super Bowl, the Bears to win the Super Bowl. Yep. So we figured that momentum would certainly go, especially this year, in light of what they did last year. So we opened it a shade higher, and I'm glad we did because, the fans are certainly backing the over.
And you mentioned the Bears, and that's an annual tradition out here is that the Bears always get money on any of these props. There's just a tremendous Chicago fan base out here. So, again, knowing that going in, what did you do with their number?
Well, it was kind of the same thing. We were talking about 9.5, and we ended up going with 9.5. But we were throwing a curveball there. The Sharps actually bet under the 9.5. But having said that, we're certainly expecting, some fan money as we get closer to September. I think we're going to end up needing the sharp side and the under in that season win for sure.
Tony, when I was managing the Phil Steele publications, we did a lot of the win projections and did those things. And we did a lot with teams that were fortunate with turnovers and less fortunate and the response, and teams that had big jumps one season and usually fell back the next with the Browns. Me personally,